Kia ora koutou katoa.
Kia ora.
Welcome.
Kia ora. Kia ora. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Hi, everybody. It's ReCooper8, Sunday night, and we are here. I am Katie Abbott, your host, and Lucy is with us.
Hello.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
We've also got Jen Olsen already in the studio, ready and waiting for our dealing with difficult music night.
Hi, Katie.
Hi.
It's very exciting. Because you've been educating us gently in the ways of music, and we really wanted to be stretched, didn't we? That's what we were after. Yeah.
We did.
Welcome to Stretch Town.
Stretch Town,
Idaho.
Stretchville.
Yeah.
Stretchville, Tennessee.
Yes.
Could Jen's microphone go up just a tiny bit? I'm just thinking, what do you think?
Yes,
Yeah.
I haven't been
Okay,
looking.
sorry.
It's my second time ever on the desk, so
Can I
should
just say,
adjust levels.
you did an incredible job, and
Do you think that was beginner's luck, Lucy?
No, I don't think so, because already you're performing, very well, admirably. But also, I really enjoyed the show. I enjoyed being part of it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the show when I was sitting where you were, but I think, I've been doing it for a while, and so it's
time
nice
to
to sit
let
here.
go.
I can let go.
You and Winston can go and have lunch
Yeah,
together.
that's right. I'm like the New Zealand first of the show.
I told you we'd have some election zingers.
And I think we are allowed to talk about politics now.
Are we?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure to what degree, so maybe if you keep the whoops and cheers to a minimum. I don't know.
Well, we can say congratulations to Kieran McAnulty.
Oh, we totally can.
yes.
And he's a friend of
new-
the station.
Is he? Well, there you go.
Yep.
And we can also say congratulations to Jacinda.
Oh, we can.
And we can say congratulations to Chloe.
We can, because they all just performed remarkably. Did you watch any of the election, Jen?
No, I followed it on the news, though.
Right.
On the newspapers.
Oh, okay. So you didn't watch any live streaming?
Oh, my God, it was awesome.
Oh.
Hilary Barry, big shout out to Hilary Barry.
Oh, she was superb.
She
was it
was
TVNZ1,
awesome.
eh?
Yeah. Or as they are called, the Reject TV3 crew.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's John.
John Campbell.
Thank you. John
Yep.
Campbell in the house. And I thought she was so funny.
She was very funny.
And I've actually got a tribute to her tonight into tonight's playlist. I've got a song called Jazz Cabbage.
Oh, yeah, because she did mention jazz cabbage, which isn't a term I'm familiar with.
Wonderful.
No, I had to educate Lucy on what jazz cabbage means.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Because everyone was expecting maybe to see the results of the referendum last night, but that's not going to be for a couple of weeks at least. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Hilary said, put your jazz cabbage on hold and
Referring
we'll
to-
find out soon.
So just for overseas listeners,
Yes.
of which we have at least two, hello mum, hello sis, we not only did we have a general election last night, but we also had a referendum on the legalisation of marijuana, jazz cabbage, and also the assisted dying bill.
Yes.
So there's lots of different ways of describing that, but I'm just going to stop there. So that was, but we don't get the results for a while on those two referendums, do
No.
we? Or referenda.
Referenda.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lizzie. And also on this evening's show, we're having Jenny Hall, who's going to be calling in to us from Carterton Events Centre,
Yes.
to hear what is going to be coming up there at that wonderful place. And we're also having friend of the show, Charlotte Harding, who is camping.
Yes, she is.
What a time to be camping. It's very cold.
Do you know, I
But
might...
it's clear.
Cold and clear.
Yeah.
We can check in with her, because she said she was at a campground, so I've made the assumption she's camping, and I know I should make less assumptions.
You should in
but
life.
I can't help it. I can't help myself. It seems to be a nice, straightforward way to operate. So yeah, she's definitely somewhere campground. I'd also like to say we have snacks tonight on the show.
Yes.
We're not sponsored by either of these fine brands, but one of them is definitely local. So Beehive, if you're watching, we've got some salami bites, and we also have some creamy milk Whitakers.
Love
What a
it.
delicious combination.
It is. There's no bad breath on the radio.
Could you imagine? Now, the reason I bought the Beehive salami bites is because Katie came over to my house to watch the election, but she lost the guacamole. So she went off to find the guacamole. Is it guacamole or guacamole?
Moly.
Moly?
Is that code for
Moly.
something?
No, it's definitely guacamole.
I actually had it. I'd made a lot and I left it on the roof of the car.
So she found it in her garden. Anyway, while she was out looking for the guacamole,
Everybody ate the salami bites.
She was really...
That's a rough night.
You dealt with it very well, I thought.
I did. Yeah. I'm trying to see everything with the overlay of compassion and empathy at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's got a shelf life, hasn't it?
How long are those salami bites good for?
I think they're good. I'm going to eat one now.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Jen.
We'll find out. Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Now,
how is Jen looking when she talks? Sorry to interrupt, but when you talk, just give us your name and address and PIN code, and we'll just check how you sound on the.
Oh, okay. Testing 1, 2. Sibilous.
Oh, that's better. I think she's sounding louder already.
Do I just need to get closer to the mic?
Yes.
Probably. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to eat a salami bite. Would you like one?
Yeah, no, probably not right now. Thanks.
no thanks.
Later.
Oh, so watch me eat them all again.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Okay. Hi, Jen. Sorry. Sorry
Hi.
to keep interrupting you.
Hi.
So disrespectful.
I am.
know. Can't believe it. I came all this way. It's lovely to be here.
It's
Great
lovely
to have you,
here.
Jen.
I know. Where do I start?
Because, every time you're here, it's confirmation that we're still at level 1.
Oh, yes. Isn't that true?
So that's kind of nice,
That's
isn't
so
it?
nice.
Yes.
Who's
Loving
enjoying the chewing sounds?
Lovely.
Okay.
Really pretty. Very delicate.
Very.
So
What do you got for us?
what shall I do? What shall I talk about? I have a lot of plugs
Okay.
to
You
put in
do.
this evening.
You
I
do.
have a lot. There's
Are
a
you-
lot happening in November.
Yes, it's a busy month. Are you going to pepper them throughout the show? Or because you're going to stay with us for the whole 2 hours?
I'm going to be here forever. Well, yeah, I guess so. I'm such a linear person that often I'm like, okay, I have my list of 10 things and I'm going to tell it to you now.
Okay.
But how about we just pepper them throughout and I'll tell you the first one.
Yes.
Perfect.
now. So the first one is E.T. Small Works Art Sale, which is the Featherston Community Centre
Yes.
fundraiser. It's normally once a year. But we couldn't do it in May when it normally is. And so we've come up with this new cool idea for November where all artists are making 4 or 8 200 by 200 boards. So everybody has the same size to work with. And so we thought, oh, this will be really fun. And we opened it up for registration. And 10 days later, registration was full.
Wow.
Completely full. We've got over 80 artists
Wow.
registered. Over 80, I know. Yeah, and then,
That's awesome.
then you start doing the maths, like some of them have 4 and some of them have 8. We have 400 pieces of art
That is
in
going
theory
to be epic.
coming in. It is going to be so epic, and I'm so excited. So, the format is fabulous, and that's part of the reason people are really excited to register is because it's quite different. Usually you do an art sale and people just say, well, give us your work. Just give us whatever you want to give us. We'll be happy. But this time we have rules. So
Yeah.
sort of. So people are quite excited because it's a fun way for artists to experiment with maybe a different medium or just experiment with that size. If you're accustomed to making things that are really huge, then making something really small is quite a challenge. So people are quite excited about it. And our only rules really are that you have to do your work within that 200 by 200 size for 2-dimensional works. But you can do 3-dimensional works as well, and those would have to be within a 200 by 200 by 200 cube.
Oh.
And they still have to be displayed on one of the boards. We kind of
Got it.
Yeah, so we had to make sure that the rules were the same for everybody.
I like it.
Everyone gets a board, and you have to use the board.
Yes.
You can't make something like the board. Yeah, it was just for the first time. Anyway,
Totally.
It was
Totally.
easier.
And I think beautiful constraints, aren't they, rules? I've got that book, Beautiful Constraints. And I think it is, it's neat just to make people conform on just a couple of matters, and then their imagination can go wild elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, and we're quite excited to see how much creativity will come out of those constraints.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be mind-blowing. I know it's going to be mind-blowing, some of the people that have registered. And yes, everyone
Don't point at me.
Have you not? You.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. So it'll be amazing. And I think just the way it will look when it's all on the wall, like hundreds of pieces all hanging together, the same size.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're
Yes.
going to hang them yet. It kind of depends.
Because
on-
some people might be doing a series or they might be interlinked.
Yeah,
maybe?
there
Who
might be.
knows what will happen?
We've kind of said we might not hang your stuff together if they absolutely have to.
Okay.
Artists can email us, but it'll kind of gives us a little bit more freedom to hang.
Yeah.
So the three-dimensional cube ones will be hung on the wall too?
It depends on the artist. Yeah, they might make it hangable, or they might make. There might be some ceramicists who just use it as a little plinth for a piece. I have no idea, and I'm so excited. So that art sale is from the 12th to the 15th of November. Opening night is on the Thursday the 12th.
Do you want to come? Do you want to be my plus one?
I'd love to.
Yeah,
At the community centre?
At the community centre in Featherston, which is on 14 Wakefield Street.
And there is ample parking, people.
There's so much.
It is ample parking.
And it's a great night. This isn't the first one that we've done at the community centre. We've done, I think, art sales for about 6 years.
Yes, they're always really super cool events.
Yeah, and the opening nights are great. They're just buzzy and fun. So that's on the Thursday, and then on the Friday, the 13th, we'll go from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. We're going to have a late night with music.
Oh, live music?
Live music.
Nice.
And I don't know who that is yet.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I think it's confirmed. But anyway, we'll have music. And then there will be a few ET artist talks sprinkled throughout that evening as well.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah, like I don't know if I can say, similar to Pecha Kucha, but not really, just like short little bursts of sharing some things. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And Pecha Kucha, you were into that for a while, weren't you?
I facilitated
Tell us what it is.
It's is
4 words or less? I don't know. Isn't it short, pithy?
Yeah. It's
things?
20 by 20. Actually, interesting. So that ties in. So you have in a traditional Pecha Kucha, each presenter has 20 slides, and they can talk about each slide for 20 seconds. So it's a really innovative way to deliver a lot of information quickly, or not very much deeply, Yeah,
that's fun.
So we did one, was it for Korkmai, and it was a fundraiser, and it went really well. It was a full house at the Anzac Hall.
Yeah.
Occasionally the photo pops up of me grinning like a complete goon from that, and I think, I'm so young and I had short hair.
Stop it. So is it going to be like if you can buy the works?
Yep.
Yeah, are they all one price?
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. So opening night is just to party and look.
Yeah.
So you can pick out your favorite ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
And sales begin on the Friday from 10.
Okay.
And each piece will be $150. And so depending on what the artist has agreed to, at least $100 will go to the artist and $50 will go to the center, or a different amount if you decided. Like I think I decided to do 50-50.
Yeah.
Or no, 75-75. Yeah, so
we get you.
So all the pieces,
Maths isn't my strong
same
point.
Same size, same price, and they'll all be hung anonymously as well. So
will they?
Your name might be on
That's
the back, but they won't have a won't have a name tag or anything like that on the front. Just
and is it cash and carry like the recent Aratoi exhibition?
Yeah.
Damn
so
it,
that you can just, because I love that concept.
Yes.
That you could just take it when you bought it and got it.
And the fun thing about having a 200 by 200 show is that you can come in and buy the couple or 8 that you really love and take them on the day, and then it'll be easy for us to just fill in those gaps so that it still looks really great.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
I know, it's really fun. And it's in November, so perfect timing for Christmas presents.
Yes.
Great Christmas presents.
And do people need tickets for the opening night?
No, it's just open.
Okay. So 13th of November.
12th of November opening night.
Opening night, 13th start.
Yeah.
Bye.
Wonderful.
Crazy weekend.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's an exciting weekend in November in Featherston, and I'll plug some more events for that same weekend later in this program.
Right after this break.
Exactly.
Are we having a break?
No.
Oh.
Just wanted to say it.
It'll be like Hillary and her bell. Ding, 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 ding.
Did you see Hillary Barry at the end?
Valerie? Oh, they had too much sugar and it was very late.
Yeah, and so by the end of the election coverage, John Campbell was kind of going off into this sort of philosophical thank you for everyone, and she's
but that's
going,
nice that he took the time.
yeah, and she just wanted to shut him up and get gone to the bar. I think
I'm going to get a bell. I'm going to ring it, Lucy, when you get out of hand.
Okay,
All right.
I'm going to eat more chocolate.
Jen,
Yes.
let's start off with our first...
we can't put it off any longer.
It's still me. Okay, so challenging music evening. What did you call it?
Can't remember now. Did we give it a name?
Guiding you through challenging music?
Yeah.
Anyway, tonight's challenging. So the last couple of shows, just to kind of quickly recap, the last couple of shows, I've been on 2, I suppose. So the very first one was introducing some movie music.
That was
to kind of go, hey, we've all heard classical music before, right?
Yes.
We totally have, on these great movies. And so we played some stuff from 2001 Space Odyssey. That was quite good.
Yep.
And then the last show we did, we played some pretty standard classical music that people know, like Vivaldi's Four Seasons, but played also some slightly modern twists of them.
Yep. By, can you remember the name of the...
Max Richter.
That's it, Max Richter. I was talking about this to someone, I couldn't remember his name.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah, Katie and I just geek out about him. He's so good. So that was a fun way to go, hey, classical music is actually evolving.
Yeah, yes.
You know, it's not, I mean, there's a lot of the really traditional stuff that it was written this way and so we play it this way, but there are great people like Max who also kind of tweak it and help it evolve into the 21st century a little bit.
Yeah.
So every time I'm on, though, you're both like, let's challenge us further. Let's really go. Like, what's some really weird classical music, and how far can you push that envelope?
Yes.
And I'm not pushing it as far as humanly possible, I think, tonight.
No.
But we'll just explore some pretty different stuff, and a lot of it this evening will come out of the modern classical and avant-garde classical period. I don't know if I'm making that up.
That's not a date range, is it? No.
Don't know. Well, yeah, it kind of is mid 20th century.
Right.
Okay.
It seems to be kind of from the 1940s to the onward.
Yeah.
When people really started exploring not just playing instruments in their traditional way, but can you make really interesting different sounds out of them, and exploring sound as kind of emotion, and I have a hard time actually putting it into words.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll just listen to a few pieces tonight. That will be different and challenging. They're mostly short though, so
that's probably
if
good.
you don't like them, don't worry, it won't last long. But also, I think the interesting thing though, like music can be quite weird. Like if I'm talking about it from a mainstream sort of perspective, some music can be weird, and the point isn't to drive you crazy.
No.
The point of a lot of these avant-garde folks, I think, was to explore sound and see what kind of poetic emotions you can get out of giving people sounds in different ways. So kind of if you open your mind a little bit and just think of them as poetry rather than traditional music that kind of has a start and a middle and a finish, and just kind of see where it takes you.
And I guess it's there to like even more traditional music, there to elicit a response and an emotion, you know, and so, you know, not only might you be trying to communicate difficult concepts or difficult feels, you're trying to do that in the listener as well. And like some emotions and some feelings maybe you can't, like I have a hard time verbalizing even talking about music. So some emotions you might feel while listening to music you can't even talk about. So part of what they were doing was trying to explore getting into those feels, those nooks and crannies. The emotional nooks and crannies. That's a whole show in itself.
Okay, so we're going to listen first and then discuss.
Sure.
So we're listening with open minds,
with compassion,
being
and
okay to sit if it makes us feel uncomfortable.
Just note those uncomfortable feelings.
Okay.
Set them aside. Just note them.
Okay. Which one are we going to listen to first?
I don't know what order I gave them to you, but I was thinking if we could listen to the Gheorghe Ligeti Musica Ricercata. I can't even say it. Ricercata?
Right. Okay.
Because it's kind of cheerful, so I thought we'd start with that one.
Oh, I'm just...
Do you want me to...
Your phone's not responding here.
Sorry.
There we go.
Right.
Gheorghe Ligeti and Alberto Rassado. Yes?
Do you want to...
Is that the one?
Oh.
Sure. Does it have a number 3 on it?
Yes.
Okay,
number 3 Allegro.
Yes,
Musica ReCooper8. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
That's
All right. Here we go.
Excellent.
Sorry, I'm just interfering. I was just.
interfere.
Have you turned it on? The channel?
I love it.
That was awesome. I loved that.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah, that was fun. That was a great word.
A good one to start with, huh? Because it's
I
quite
don't think your
cheerful.
microphone's on, darling. No. Yeah,
Wow, that was amazing. I'll say it again.
That was really interesting. It was frenetic,
Yes.
kinetic.
Like a whole bunch of people playing, but
Yeah.
really only one pianist.
One
Person
dude.
on the piano. Yeah,
That's it, crazy.
yeah.
But also enough in it for it to sound familiar. You know,
Yes.
there was some
That was a good
Rhythms.
start to being uncomfortable because it
Yeah.
was not too far out
It's
of
a
the
little
comfort
bit
zone.
jazzy. A few little notes there that make you kind of go, "Ew, what?"
Yeah. Did he play it wrong?
And a little bit odd. And so, a couple of musical things about that is about this particular suite of pieces, the 11 pieces that he made, and that was the third. They call it a contrapuntal style, which is a counterpoint style, which is where you have two or more tunes played kind of at the same time. And the best example is a canon like Three Blind Mice, where one person starts singing Three Blind Mice,
Yes.
Three Blind Mice, and then they keep singing Three Blind Mice, and the next person goes, see how they run.
Yes.
And then they just keep layering and layering and layering.
Yes.
And so that's what Georgi did with this piece. He was actually layering a whole bunch of stuff. It's just a lot more frenetic, so it's hard to pick them apart. But he had a couple of things going on. There's a C major. Most of the right hand was in C major, and most of the left hand was played in C minor. And so playing the major against minor, in addition to the counterpoint of having two tunes going on, they were in two different keys.
Wow.
Which kind of adds a little bit of the kind of weirdness
Yeah.
in there. Yeah, which I quite like. So it's quite skittish. And the ending,
Skittish.
I adore.
Yes, that
It
was a
just
good
kind of
ending. Yeah.
You're like, is it over?
Is it part of a larger work? That one thing?
Yeah, so musica, the word I can't pronounce, musica ReCooper8 is a series of 11 pieces.
Right.
And that was the third one.
Okay.
So if you liked that one,
Yeah.
check out Georgi Ligeti, Ligeti, and check out Musica ReCooper8
Will do.
and find it.
I enjoyed that.
Have a look.
Are you making notes?
Georgi.
Georgi. Yeah, it's very, he was, where was he born? Can't remember. Was he Hungarian?
Romania.
Yeah, Romanian. And he
Okay.
then grew up in Hungary and then left Hungary and went to,
Austria.
immigrated to Austria in the 60s so that he could have more musical freedom because the communists were like, no, you can't play that weird stuff.
Yeah. No contrapunt here.
No contrapunt, no.
Move your contrapunt along,
None
sir.
of that. And then he ended up being one of the most influential avant-garde musicians of his time, which is kind of
So
nuts.
he's no longer with us?
No.
Okay.
No. But he also did a lot of really interesting choral works, including that really creepy tune from 2001.
Oh, God, yeah.
Cast your
another
mind
one.
back.
Yeah.
If anybody's seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, there's a lot of like floating around in space, and there's this really uncomfortable choral music where they do semitones.
Oh, we
where they
listened to
just
that,
kinda go,
didn't we?
No.
You know.
That's why I don't like space. It's
Yeah.
because of him.
Yeah. Yeah, so he explored a lot of that. Aside from this quite fun group of pieces, he explored a lot of that. What are they called? I can't remember. Anyway, a lot of that semitone, quarter tone kind of sound, which can be painful.
It sounded technical, obviously, but is it a super technical piece? To your knowledge or ear? I mean,
fairly, sure, and particularly because it's quite fast, but quite fun because there are a lot of good, bouncy kind of poundy, boom, boom, boom,
pounding, totally,
quite fun,
but also. There was there was a moment in that piece where it did something quite unexpected. Is there? Do you know if there's a level of interpretation around that? Would one player play it quite differently from another player, or does it just get played the same every time?
Possibly. I mean, I think any piece anybody's going to play a little bit differently. I think those ones are written fairly strictly. The interesting thing about a lot of this very avant-garde music is that it's written down with structure.
Yeah.
Where sometimes you'll hear later, we'll listen to some stuff that doesn't sound like it has structure, but it actually does. And that's just so that it can be repeated in some way. But I'm sure that, avant-garde artists were going to be like, sure, however you feel, almost.
That would be part of the art, I guess. That kind of interpretation.
And that's the case when even with really traditional classical music, like playing Beethoven. I played a lot of Beethoven in orchestras that I played in, and we played a lot of the same Beethoven pieces over and over and over, and depending on the group you're playing with or the conductor, you'll actually play it a little bit differently every time. The notes might be the same, but you might have bits where you actually get louder and slow down a little bit more differently than with another group.
Is there a concept in classical music the same in popular music, like an artist would do a cover, for example, of a popular song, and they interpret it way off what you might, the familiarity, but long gone?
That'd be like Max Richter.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a term, but I mean, when the Vivaldi that Max Richter has done, he's called it recomposed.
Yes.
So he's kind of, there is a term.
It'll come to you.
Yeah.
And when it does, you can tell us.
You're here all night, so
it is a thing. Because remember, in the early 2000s, I have to look at it too because I've forgotten his name.
This is great. We've all got amnesia.
I know, it's terrible. Anyway, like a quite well-known DJ who was big in the Ibiza era of UK DJs in the early 2000s, and he pieces in a modern style. William Orbit.
Yes.
Do you remember that? William Orbit, and he did an incredible album of just reinterpretation of pieces,
I had that.
modern pieces.
Maybe it's just interpretation.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Anyway, we'll Google that later.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, because that certainly happens a lot.
Because I loved that album.
Yeah, I did too.
Beautiful.
I did a hard rotation.
And even like just. I'll be the one harking back to traditional classical music all the time.
Yeah.
They would, guys like Bach and Mozart and Beethoven, those dudes would, sneak in little bits of each other's stuff as well as a bit of a hat tip, like, hey, that was good, I'm going to put that in there. They weren't even alive at the same time, but, everybody does that. Like, I really like that, I'm going to put that in there.
Yeah.
Not totally steal it. I'm sure they stole each other's stuff too. But,
samples.
Yeah. One of my favorite ones. Liszt. I think Liszt.
Mendelssohn, Feet. Brahms. Sorry, carry on, Jeff.
I just remembered this great concert that Jeff and I went to in Wellington years ago, like 15 years ago. Somebody was playing the pipe organs down in the hall, which is closed now. What is that hall called?
The town hall.
The town hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was beautiful. Oh, it was just incredible. And
they started playing what?
The performer started playing a piece by Liszt, and I can't remember the name of the piece, but Liszt hated Bach so much. He hated him with such a passion that he wrote this entire piece that lasted like 30 minutes, and the whole thing was based around this little theme of of Bach's name, B-A-C-H, but there's no H in musical letters. It's G, so he wrote B-A-C-G, and so this theme of B-A-C-G, or this motif, is throughout the entire thing, and it's angry and poundy, and it's just crazy. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you.
Oh my God, on an organ too.
Yeah,
Just
epic.
the extra punch.
Yeah, the organ makes your hair stand up anyway, and also it was just like infused with hate.
Wow, that's incredible.
So funny. Yep.
Vicious.
Right. Tangent.
All right.
What are we going to play next?
What's next? What
are we doing next? So that was...
I can still hear that piece in my head.
Georgi Ligeti.
Okay. Just to give you an update on snacks, I have had a beehive salami bite, followed by a Whittaker's creamy milk chaser, and then another salami bite. I can tell you, given 5 minutes in between each snack, there is no contrapunt going on in my mouth.
My
Perfectly serviceable snack collection.
Okay, why don't we go with The Spiral Galaxy by George Crumb.
Oh, even his name sounds mental, doesn't it?
And Enrico Belli.
Ooh.
Is that who?
Go Enrico.
Someone else, yeah. Okay, Spiral Galaxy. Here we go.
They like to make you listen to the silence.
Well, that was...
Wow. Do not be alarmed for people who are still listening.
Yeah.
This is Arrow FM 92.7. You're with ReCooper8 on the Sunday evening. And Jen Olsen is taking us through difficult listening with classics. That was rather spooky.
It was.
Mr. Crumb has given me the heebie-jeebs.
George Crumb's fairly creepy. I mean, his music comes across sounding fairly creepy.
So tell us the techniques. There's something very interesting about that.
Yeah, so George has a little special place in my heart because I got to play some George Crumb when I was learning how to play the piano. I had a pretty cool piano teacher who said, right, yeah, I think you guys can handle this. So gave us some George Crumb to play. And George liked to play on what's known as a prepared piano. meaning you actually play on the inside of it. You stand up, your grand piano's open, and you're plucking on the strings. And prepared, meaning you put little tapes on the strings so that you know which string you're plucking, because it's actually quite hard to tell.
Okay.
So yeah, this performer was strumming like a harp. Strumming a lot of the strings and plucking a lot of the strings. And there were some other strange sounds where I think he would put his hands on the strings to damp them, but then still play the keys. And so they got lots of. So George Crumb liked to explore what kind of sounds can that instrument make. We can make more sounds than standard. I'm playing the piano
with the keys.
Yeah, just with the keys. And so that was a lot of that. And he also really liked. What did he like? I have some notes. He liked really interesting little twiddle, the twiddly bits of. He liked to play with 3 notes right next to each other. I think it was called tritones, where you just play 3 tones right next to each other over and over and just explore what those do.
Right.
So yeah, he did a lot of that.
It's the prepared piano. It's kind of invasive, isn't it? It's it's getting into the body of the instrument. It's. I don't want to say it's invasive. It's invasive, isn't it?
It's an invasive procedure.
Well, it kind of is.
I'm trying to picture what he would look like doing. So they stand on a stool and lean in, or they're actually in the piano.
Oh no, they just stand.
Yeah.
So it's like if you were sitting at the piano and play the keys.
Yeah.
You just stand up.
Oh, okay.
And reach
over
that way.
Are there some classical music enthusiasts or musicians that feel that's a step too far and just
surely
yeah
some people don't like how that sounds at all,
right?
And yes, playing, a lot of people would consider that that's not how it was meant to be played. When pianos were built, when harpsichords and pianos and things like that were built, that's not what you were meant to do.
No.
And so the modern and avant-garde classical composers and musicians just thought, well, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
It's right there. I can see it. Why not? We can make some other interesting kind of sounds. So, yeah, and so George Crumb, he was kind of the king of avant-garde, and that piece was composed in 1972. But George, I think, had been around for quite a while. I think he was born in 1933.
Yeah,
so
he literally was 90.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So he'd been composing stuff for ages, and he also did a lot of the plucking and hammering. Oh, I remember too. We played the piece we played. It wasn't that one, but we used a little mallet that was one of those little rubber mallets that doctors use to test your reflexes on your knee.
Yeah.
And so it wouldn't hurt the strings. It was a nice rubbery
and
thing.
It's small.
So you could bong, bong, bong. Yeah, small enough that you wouldn't mash more strings than you thought you were going to. Yeah.
But so when you're learning a piece like that, I mean, there's so much more than just sitting down and playing the notes. You're having to remember when to stand up, what bits to, it's a whole body experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my teacher she wouldn't prepare the piano for us. That was part of the deal.
Okay.
Was, we would learn all about it.
Yeah.
And then she would say, right, and here's your tape.
Oh,
you have to find that note, and so you'd find it by touching the key, and then inside the piano you can see one of the little hammers, either hammering or one of the little dampy things, whatever they're called. So you could figure out which one to put your tape on.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We thought it was, of course, quite weird and embarrassing, and great thing that none of our friends were there to see us doing this incredibly old person stuff, but
that said, I mean, it's kind of timeless. The piece is timeless. It seems to stand outside of time, doesn't it, in that sense? I wouldn't, to my untrained ear, it doesn't sound like something from the 1970s. It sounds highly contemporary,
Yeah, definitely. It definitely wouldn't stand in, 1920s.
No.
I don't think.
No.
Or perhaps some of the avant-garde folks were creating stuff like that in the 1920s, but there certainly aren't very many recordings of it that I know of.
And you said he's an American, and that's what, that's another interesting feature, that, that's not really an American kind of style of getting intimate with your piano.
Yeah, I feel like it's not. I feel like America is often quite a mainstream kind of place, and I don't mean that in a horrible. I mean, I suppose it's kind of judgy, but yeah, America's kind of a mainstream place, and so kind of going off into the weeds is a little bit quite different. So I kind of wonder how challenging it was for a lot of the avant-garde artists in America to find their happy place.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Well, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And Jen, when you said that some people really wouldn't have liked that and it would have made them feel icky, or I don't know, like you get what's going on, like is a physiological response to music, and if we're listening to really challenging music that's making us feel uncomfortable, like physically uncomfortable,
that's your brain trying to make it work.
Yeah,
I reckon.
Is it?
I reckon. I mean, we're sort of trained to, again, that mainstream stuff. Music kind of has structure. You know, it starts
and
like
humans
this,
like things that finish and have an ending and patterns that repeat.
Yeah, and these often don't have very many patterns. These two that we've listened to, there are some patterns, and there are some kind of bits that you can follow easily with your ear. But I think personally, if I'm listening to something avant-garde and I feel really uncomfortable, it's because I kind of haven't opened up my mind to the experience, if you know what I mean. Like, if you're sitting there expecting a normal piece with a beginning, middle, and end, and ta-da, it's all major keys or something like that, then hearing something like that might be like, it's not what I wanted, you know.
Yeah. It's not going to be on any easy listening classical remix.
No, it would make great elevator music, wouldn't it? Especially have a really long, tall building that you had to get all the way to the top of.
God, that would be hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, this is great. So what's piece number 3?
Okay, so piece number 3. Oh, wait, I just wanted to do one more little plug for George Crumb.
Yeah, I love his name.
He does vocal stuff also.
Does he?
Yeah, and
his own voice? No,
for choirs.
Okay.
And I didn't choose any for this evening because they were kind of long, but he's got this great series of pieces called Ancient Voices of Children. And it's a fabulous journey through a whole lot of vocal techniques and textures
down. Ancient
and
voices.
kind of world music-y stuff. There's a lot of sounds from all around the world.
Great.
But quite still avant-garde.
Yep.
And I think one of them begins with a woman. I was watching a video on YouTube. She's leaning into the grand piano to get some good echo and to get some vibrations off the strings.
Oh.
So as she's singing, kind of like,
oh wow,
yeah, check it out. Ancient Voices of Children.
As a musician, you know, to play that stuff or to sing that stuff, you've got to be really kind of quite brave, don't you?
Oh yeah, and confident.
Yes,
because you still have to do it seriously.
Yes,
and that's the thing that I found watching Ancient Voices of Children. You know, she's leaning in a piano, and there's other people in this particular orchestra or group waiting to play, you know, or waiting for their part to come in, and they're kind of watching her, you know, and she's leaning in and singing this quite odd stuff, you know, but she's doing it really well. You know, it's you can't be embarrassed.
No, I'll start sniggering. Yeah, that would be awkward. That's totally why I didn't become an avant-garde musician.
I know.
Just to say, we will be posting this playlist on our Facebook page because, you know, I know, you know, a few people will be really interested to revisit some of these tracks, and everybody loves your playlist anyway.
Oh, that's kind of you to say.
Yeah, well, it's true. So, you know, so people will be able to access this and go and source the rest of these wonderful musicians' material.
All right.
Yeah. Right. So the third
Numero
tres. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so we've listened to 2 that were quite short and fairly digestible, really. You know, if you're kind of open to it, those are kind of enjoyable. So the third one isn't going to be so enjoyable.
Okay.
And it's going to be quite emotional and challenging.
Right.
This one is called Threnody to the Victims of Hiroshima.
Ooh.
And this one also has a really special place in my heart because I played it at university orchestra, and it was the first time I had ever played anything avant-garde with an orchestra. I had played avant-garde things on the piano because of my fabulous teacher, but this was the first time that I was in a whole orchestra with, you know, 40 to 60 people, and we played this really uncomfortable avant-garde music. So this is written by Krzysztof Penderecki, and it was composed in 1960. And so a threnody is a lament. So this is a lament to the victims of Hiroshima. And I think it won like the musical equivalent of the UNESCO prize as well for anyway, not very many words. And so he was interested in liberating sound beyond all tradition. And so I don't know if I can even say anything else about this. Just like open your mind to this really horrific period in history and just see where these sounds take you.
Okay.
It's a little bit longer too.
Let's go to go.
Okay.
Okay. Whoa.
That's epic. Are we all on?
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like a soundscape, like a true soundscape. I felt like you're going through the whole happening, the whole event.
I think it captured agony, didn't it? The agony and the confusion and the pain.
The fear.
Could turn the headphones up, could you, so I can hear us?
Oh, sorry.
So that's all right.
There we go.
That's it.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, what was that like to rehearse and to play? I mean, how do you even start?
I know. Can you imagine just playing that more than once?
Oh, my God.
Oh, you'd be exhausted.
Yeah. Well, the first really interesting thing about it, it's all pretty interesting, I suppose, whether you like it or not. It sounds really, really free form.
Yeah.
But like we were saying earlier, there's actually a hell of a lot of structure in the music. You actually got pieces of music that you would read, but instead of having bars,
He
there
wrote
would be
in a different
times.
style, did he?
Yeah, and so it would be like he wouldn't have notes. He would put like some really jaggedy black thick bars or something, and he had lots of different shapes. And so first you had to learn what those shapes meant.
Wow.
And most of the time there wasn't, I think, a specific note that you would play. Sometimes there was, and then it would be an actual note. But most of the time it was pick a note and do this weird thing, whether it's you could hear just loud ee, or you just go ee, and saw back and forth, or you could hear a couple of times through that piece some ee, and that was doing ultra slow vibrato on strings. And so you would just be told, pick a note and do ultra slow vibrato for this many seconds. And so the conductor, and everybody had different seconds and different notes and different things going on. So the conductor is basically, I think he was pretty much up there with a stopwatch, you know, going, okay, you're at 5 seconds. Okay, you're at 2 seconds. Okay, you're good. You know, he was just...
That's incredible.
I say he because it was a he that I played under, but yeah. And so first we had to learn how to read this new music, and then he had us just to like the first line of the music, just to say, okay, it's weird, you know, and we just go and play this stuff, and we all, of course, were quite straight-laced. Traditional classical people, but he was like, nope, breaking you out of your shells. And so that first line, everybody hated it, but then he played it for us over the loudspeakers and kind of gave us the Hiroshima story. And then people gradually kind of got it. So I think he clearly had to work on people a little bit to be like, just getting you on board, because if we all do this, it comes out sounding that amazingly horrible. So the crazy thing was how not freeform the music actually was written down. And
some of the techniques that you were saying were being used while we were listening to it. So some hitting of the instrument bodies.
So it was strings only, this entire piece. So it was violins, violas, cellos, and basses. And so there was a lot of slapping on the wooden bit of the instrument. There was also turning the bow over. Usually when you're bowing on your instrument, there's horsehair that's touching the strings, and in a lot of cases, Penderecki would have you turn the bow over and tap on the strings with the wooden part of your bow, or tap on the wooden part of your instrument to get those knocks. And the basses, I think, were actually kind of hammering into the side of their basses with the end of their bow. And a lot of the really high-pitched, kind of uncomfortable pitches, tones, notes, were played on the... how do I describe this to people that haven't played the violin?
The bridge.
Playing on the other side of the bridge.
So the bridge is the bit that holds the strings in tension from the body. And you usually play up to the bridge. Like there's a certain little bit, like probably 10 centimetres, depending on what instrument you are, where your bow goes. But you'd never go
beyond the bridge. But he Yeah, that's a great metaphor. Penderecki would ask you to play beyond the bridge. So you play on these really squeaky bits that you would normally never play on. So it's kind of like George Crumb getting you to get inside the instrument and like pluck it or strum it.
Yeah, it's using bits you wouldn't
was
normally
saying,
use.
let's make a sound that normally you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And all the
siren
siren things and the
klaxon
chords
noises.
that aren't chords. It's like they're not chords, but they're kind of chords. You know, it's like it does your head in.
But it feels entirely appropriate, doesn't it? You know, like the whole
for the
thing.
subject
Yeah, for the subject. That you know, he had to come up with a whole new kind of language and take you
describe
beyond
such awfulness.
Yeah, and it comes across brilliantly and brutally, and I think it's a tremendous piece.
Hypnotic too.
It is
in a horrible.
Well, you feel drawn to it at the same time as you're repelled by it, you know, because it's painful.
Like we were sitting here asking while the music is playing, it's like, how much longer?
Yes, because
is it
time
over
seems
yet?
to
Because you
slow
just
down.
really need some relief.
Yeah, and there is actually a part in it. Did you spot that where it did seem like time was
finished.
slowed down? You know, that was that kind of. Oh, I mean, and what I found remarkable is it kind of captures the experience of a whole community and also of an individual, and just
Yeah, it's one of the more narrative pieces I've ever heard or played. Like
Yeah.
you get such a sense of a story, whether your story is true or not. You know, you just you relate somehow to that horrible thing.
yes,
That happened.
It felt like
or you
a
have some
release.
kind of empathy for it. Even if
Yes.
you can't relate to it.
it felt like a release. Do you know what I mean? Like
What, when it finished?
No. During the piece, like that. I'm going to use an analogy, which I am no way qualified to kind of talk about. But you know, when people hurt themselves, you know, to release pain, that's what it felt like. You know, like an audial version of that kind of experience. If you were to imagine that experience, I found it quite. That's a little bit life changing. That piece of music. Yeah.
And the reason I chose that one, well, is because it has special meaning to me. But I think I was at the Miracle Room talking to Campbell Neal, who's a musician, and he's quite an interesting musician who does not like mainstream music at all. He's quite a soundscape kind of person, and we were talking about, you know, we were talking about avant-garde music that we had heard or played as a younger person, and how it affected us, and both of us were like, oh yeah, that Threnody.
Wow.
Yeah, both of us. And I think his teacher played it for them in his music class in high school or something like that, and the whole class was just like holding their hands over their ears, and he was sitting there like, I've arrived.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, you can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's what I appreciate about this avant-garde sort of music, is that it gives people permission to do that, to be different, use a different part of that instrument and pull those emotions out. You don't have to play.
And to explore the very limit of our ability to withstand the human condition. Don't you think? You know, like it takes you right there. Like, you know, because there were people who survived that incredible, awful atrocity. And in a way, it feels so appropriate that somebody took the time to try and encapsulate how that would have felt for them and for everybody, I think.
And music, again, is one of this media that transcends words. We find it difficult to talk about. It's hard to talk about. You just have to say, just listen to it. You know? And again, what Penderecki liked to do, where he was headed, was he was interested in liberating sound beyond all tradition. So he's taking us out of that traditional, play the piece like this, play your instrument like this. And he's like, no, use it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know, it's quite deep.
There's one more.
Is there?
It's more cheerful, though.
Jen, are we going to get...
I know.
I'm conscious that we've got Jenny to talk to and Charlotte.
Yes.
So how long is the next
The
piece?
next one's short.
It's a shorter
The next one's a shorty.
Okay.
And so I've done this thing where usually when you put a concert together and you want to play something avant-garde, you do this. You put it in the middle, and then you end on something a little bit more cheerful.
It's like what's it called? A compliment sandwich?
Yes.
You were great.
Yeah.
You could do this better, but once again, you're great.
Once again, you're great. So if we could finish off with John Cage, who this is another piano piece. You won't recognize it as piano, but it's quite cheerful and funny, I think.
Nicolas Cage's favourite musician. Hence the name.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage, the actor?
Well, he was Nicolas Coppola, but he didn't want to be riding on the coattails of his famous director uncle, so he changed his name and after his favourite musician, which was John Cage.
You're joking? I didn't know that.
Awesome.
Oh my God, look, honestly, I come on this show and I realise I've been living under a stone.
Bits of information.
It's not useless.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
No. That was actually in my head because I love Nicolas Cage.
I do too.
As an actor. What?
You know, our favourite film, he calls him Horseface, doesn't he?
What?
Simon and Kermode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't they call him Horseface?
Do they?
Nicolas Cage? Oh my God. Just move on to the music. Quickly.
Okay, oh, wait,
what's next, Jen?
Can I preface it?
Yes,
it's John Cage, Sonata 5. And this is on a prepared piano, and he went well beyond George Crumb's prepared pianos. So there are screws and bolts screwed in between some of the strings.
Right.
So this is a pretty different experience.
Okay. Oh, I'm loving today. And we're eating a lot of chocolate, which is good.
Sonata 5.
Okay, here we go. That was cool.
That was really cool. It was so jolly and kind of like I imagined little robots. It was funky and very kind of tribal, if I can use that terribly generic term. But it kind of it takes you somewhere else entirely, doesn't it?
I know. And I'm just having a look to see. We were like, I was all, this is only a piano. And then Katie's like, sounds like a gamelan. So I'm just trying to have a look to see how many instruments were going on there. It was mostly piano, though. I was quite surprised to learn that what weird sounds would come out of screwing screws in between, between strings at different places. So again, it's worth having a look at YouTube to check out this particular piece just to see what they do to the piano, which apparently took like 3 hours to set up.
Wow. That is so cool. I love
know.
that. It was
Isn't
a
that
nice
fun?
antidote or contrapunt to Hiroshima
use.
Hath Threnody earlier on. That was really epic. I love that.
Yeah.
No, your name is Katie. I'm looking at you, Katie. Did we want to talk about that a little bit more? Should we get Jenny Hall on the line? Should we? I'm looking to you for
Good. I'm glad you're looking to me for guidance.
Shall we? So, Jenny Hall, if you're listening, we're going to be calling you soon.
Yes.
Was there anything else you wanted to mention? I mean, we could talk about these tracks all night, but I am conscious we've got a queue.
I just wanted to play that one last, as you say, a bit of an antidote to the Hiroshima piece. And
Jen, you've excelled yourself. You have excelled yourself.
Thank you. Yes,
challenged
really.
you all.
Oh,
I hope we still have some listeners.
Yeah.
well, we'd love to hear from you, actually, listeners. If you're on Facebook, then let us know. We are on Facebook Live, so just pop something in the chat, because we do like to hear from you, and we'd love to know what you thought about that music. And are you glad it's over?
Did it change your life?
Could you do more? What would you like Jen to bring to us next time? What shall we do next time? Actually, Jen?
Yeah. How are you going to?
Well, let's hit Jenny Hall, and then we can talk about what to do next time.
Okay. Yeah.
You reckon?
So, should we call Jenny Hall now?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like me to come over and assist?
That would be marvellous.
Okay. 1 second. So
is there any other things you want to tell us about, Jen, for happening in Featherston while we make the call?
Yeah. What else is happening in Featherston? So November is crazy big in Featherston. On Saturday, the 21st of November, Shane Carter, Katie's friend.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I
Shane
admire
Carter
him
of
as a musician.
1980s.
He's wonderful.
Punk,
Straight jacket fits.
edgy, yeah. So he's written a book, some memoirs called Dead People I Have Known. And so he'll be talking about that in Featherston in the Kiwi Hall from 4 o'clock on the 21st of November. And also on that same day, 21st of November from 7 o'clock, Sweet Talk. So some poets, Sam Ducker-Jones, Simon Sweetman, who's written a book of poetry.
Oh.
Yeah. And also Richard Langston of Country Calendar. And he's a TV and radio journalist.
Yes.
They all have books out, and so they're going to be talking about those as well. So the 21st of November, another great day in Featherston.
Yeah, far out
Featherston. Cooking on fire.
It is cooking.
Tickets for those are on Event Finder.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Great.
That sounds something great to look forward to. All right, we're going to make a call to Jenny now and see.
Are you right?
Yeah.
I'll pass the chocolates round. Any chocolate, anyone?
Oh, yeah.
Go on. You know you want to. We're making short work of these. Nobody's going for my salami bites. Noted. More for me.
Dessert first.
And I feel it's okay to eat these snacks because they're tidy, and I'll take all the rubbish with me, I promise.
Lucy just wanted to have chocolate.
That's right.
Turn on the...
What, Lovey?
Shall I turn on her?
Yep. Have you called the number?
Yeah.
So is she there?
I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Hello. How are you doing?
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Forgive me. I'm just learning. So
No. Honestly,
I can see you guys. You're looking great.
Thank you. Just eating my fourth chocolate of the evening.
Now, Jenny, how are you doing? You feeling okay?
I've been better. I'm COVID free, but there's definitely something going on. At the moment,
you sound a bit croaky, so I hope you're okay to tell us what's happening at the Carterton Event Centre.
I always get excited when I talk about what's going on, so I'm sure the croak will go.
Perfect. What's coming up?
Dribbled, sorry.
What's that?
She's just dribbled on her chocolate. Please continue, Jenny.
You're probably in a much better place where you are, because then you don't have to see me eat this chocolate.
Well, I'm watching, so when the screen turns, we'll be right.
Damn it. Okay, the floor's yours, Jenny. Talk us through.
Stop it. What's coming up?
So what's coming up? We've got some really different stuff happening. So right now, there's one more of this left Peter Pan is being done by the Geraldine Anders School of Dance.
Yes.
They've had their centre for the whole last week, and from all the reviews I've heard of people talk about, it's an amazing show. So there's one left Tuesday at 6 p.m. and there's a few tickets left for that one.
Okay.
Our next really big public event, not that that's not public obviously, but is Troll by Trick of the Light Theatre. So they've been before. It's kind of a hard show to explain because I've not seen it, but it's basically about this young boy who is 12, but online he's 13 and he's kind of getting away with it. And they use
That sounds fun.
It does lockdown fun. It's kind of got a Stranger Things vibe to it. So it's for older kids. So we have the pantaloons come to us sort of every 3 or 4 months. So if your kids are kind of past that, but you still want to keep them involved in theatre and sort of challenge them a little bit, I think this is something to take a look at. It's ages 10 plus, and there's a great trailer on our Facebook, our Instagram. We can go to the Event Finder website and look up Carterton Event Centre and watch it there. Without having seen it, it's kind of a little hard to talk about it, but it is. I'm really intrigued and quite looking forward to coming to see that they're doing. So that's Friday at 7 o'clock. This Friday coming, so just in time for the long weekend.
Oh yeah, the long weekend.
Cool.
Yay for the long weekend. And then after that, Wednesday the 28th of October, I'm really excited about this one. We've got Stu Darling, who is a Greytown man, life coach, kind of resilience guru of the country, is doing a full day on how to build your resilience. After COVID, after just in general life kind of getting you down. And I'll be honest, when I first got handed this as a, hey, maybe we'll work in with him, I was like, oh gosh, what have we got to do this for? Like, what is this?
I already have a self-help book.
What's that?
We've already got a whole shelf full of self-help books that I don't read.
I work next to the library, it's in the same building. We're all good. And I like to think I'm a really glass is always half full, or if it's not half full, it's refillable, and very positive kind of resilient kind of woman, I like to think of myself. But I've really struggled this year with COVID. Obviously the events were one of the first things to go, and everything got cancelled, and all your work for, some of it's been years in the making, got canned, and I struggled with that, and I struggled with lockdown, and then we got back into it and we were on fire. We were, everything was a sellout. The Wairatas, Laura Collins, Ben Hurley, the boss, the Sinatra night, they were all sold out, and then boom, we're back into no events. And I was really knocked with that one, and I really sort of struggled to bounce back, and big believer in things coming your way when you need them. So just working with Stu on promoting his event is kind of just helping relight that fire a little bit. It's really the stuff he says, it's not necessarily stuff you don't know, but maybe you've kind of forgotten that you've got it.
Yes.
It's really, I can't say enough good things about it. It's really reasonably priced. It's $55 for the whole day. It's 9 till 4.
Whoa.
And we're going
reasonable.
full Tony Robbins style. We've got flashing lights and pumping music. And
Do you have to walk on fire like Tony?
I don't know that we're going to set fire or anything.
Oh, come on, Jenny.
Put a little fire pit out the front.
A couple of Weber barbecues strapped to my feet.
We're always up for a challenge. I'll put it to him when I Zoom with him later this week.
Is it aimed at just adults, Jenny, or is it all ages? What's the deal there?
I think all ages. We as Carterton District Council, with my council hat on, we've just been given funding for the Mayor's Task Force for Jobs, which is about getting youth, so Gen I, Gen Z, whatever you want to call them, into sustainable supported work. They're one of the the biggest, the highest anxiety generation ever. They don't want to put themselves out there. They're worried about today, not 10 years down the line. They're just getting up some days for them is really freaking hard. So I think I'm really pushing for those students and sort of youth, which is sort of 2016 to 2024 age group, to really think about coming. I really feel like it's something that anyone can get something from, whether it's for business or for life or for family, or just to get you through Christmas and the school holidays, like whatever you're really struggling with. I really feel like this will tap into that and make a difference.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. What day is that again, Jenny?
So that's Wednesday the 28th of October, so just after a nice long relaxing weekend you can come in and spend a day with us. Property brokers have sponsored the tea and coffee, so that's all taken care of.
That's great.
That's the important part. And you can order lunch through the website as well. So we've got some amazing restaurants and bars and cafes open in Carterton now, but if you just want to be able to sort of sit in our beautiful courtyard and relax and network a little bit with the people that are there, you don't even have to leave. We'll get that to you.
Okay, that sounds marvellous. And something a little bit different.
You can even look at the hashtag which we've created. It's the Resilient NZ. Every video Stu's put out, and he's doing one a day. I'm struggling to catch up because I've had a few days off, but we're getting there. And just you get the vibe of it. And I, like I said, I was a little sceptical to begin with, and now I'm fully converted, and it hasn't even started yet.
Brilliant. It sounds like someone we should have on the show.
So his website.
I think. You would love. I think you would really. Yeah, he would love it. I think you guys would love it.
Yeah,
okay.
I think yeah.
All right.
He's his company's Results Coaching, and
yes, and Lead Through Life. He's written a book.
And Omeo Technology, which I have heard of before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's something to have
Shall
a
I
look
put
at?
it on my list? I'll get my handbag.
Lucy.
Hang on.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh, I can send you his details. I'm sure he would love.
Oh yeah, that would be good. Thank you.
Be in touch. Cool.
Brilliant.
Okay, so that's.
Carry on. Sorry, I was just trying to help with the segues, but I think I should just shut up.
I can keep speeding if you need to. We've got so many things going on because the very next day we have Ben Hurley. So from resilience to let's laugh till you cry or wet yourself a little bit.
And I have tickets for Ben, and I know he got moved because my husband bought them for my birthday.
Oh, really?
In August.
I remember when you guys came in.
That's right. And then I thought, oh, that's so funny. His show's called Straight Out of Lockdown, and then boom, we're back in lockdown.
Straight into lockdown.
I wonder if he's changed some of his material in the meantime. Do you know?
I don't know. We were one of the last. I think we are the only outstanding poor day.
Oh.
So we could have a whole new show.
We
or it could be. Who knows?
It's going to be interesting.
But lucky you holding on to your tickets because it's sold out. So if anyone wants to come, it's not going to happen. So
better book the
if you're holding on to them.
I can babysit if you want.
Thanks.
I know I'm not in that kind of age bracket, but you've got a nice house.
I can pay you in wine, so you're easier because I don't have to pay cash.
Who says? Okay, anyway, moving on.
Sorry, Jenny.
No, you're all good. What else have we got? So we've got the New Zealand Army Band. I don't know if you remember during lockdown, they did some pretty amazing Zoom rehearsals that they recorded.
Oh,
and
nice.
there was, like 26 tiny little screens. It was like watching the Muppets, but
that's brilliant.
the opening of the Muppets, just like that. But so Signed, Sealed, Delivered, and just all these amazing sounds, and they were all scattered around the country and just in this Zoom. So I'm really excited about having them on our stage and in our building. When we had Steve Cullen and the Roger Fox Big Band last week, the sound that came from that band, it was just incredible. So the New Zealand Army Band is twice the size. It is huge. And they've got the big gongs, they've got everything. So they're doing some classical, they're doing some one of the songs I shared last week is from Aladdin, Never Had a Friend Like Me, and it's just such a diverse range. I'm going to take my kids along. They've got some great pricing on that one. I think it's like $10 for kids and $20 for adults, something around that sort of price bracket.
Going to try that. That sounds great.
Double check that.
Yeah.
So good. We'll take your word for it, Jen.
Prices may go up and down.
Adults are 25 for adults and 10 for under 18. So
that's great.
Perfect.
That's a decent night out without so that's lots of fun.
And what date was that again? Sorry.
So that is 5th of November.
5th of November. Oh, we're into busy November.
Please to remember the 5th of November.
Oh yes. Yeah. That's firework night, isn't it?
I don't think. Are we allowed fireworks anymore?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know that the funding systems don't fund them so much out here. I think you need to go to Wellington for them now.
Yeah.
No, that's true. And anything else in November that you wanted to bring to our attention?
Oh my goodness! I've got so much. So the Boss.
Oh, the
third
boss.
time's
Yeah.
a charm with the boss.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
come on,
So
boss.
April, August, and now November. So,
Oh.
so I really, these guys have just been, they've planned these tours and they've been practicing and practicing. I started promoting this event October last year.
Oh, wow.
That's it's just, oh gosh, I feel for them. So I really want a sold out packed house for that. We've got about 20 tickets left
Oh, well done.
on Saturday the 7th of November. So
Okay.
if you want to support, and there's some so the band's sort of from all around the Lower North Island, but 2 or 3 are from the Wairarapa, so really good local feel to it, but very professional, very polished, so there's some good stuff happening.
Great.
Okay, and then the next one in November, I told you I've got so much going on. I'm not entirely sure about this one. I've literally hopped on this week and it's come up and I've gone, great, that's great. So it's Trial by Jury, which is a Gilbert and Sullivan musical.
Oh, never heard of that one.
And I know, and it's being performed by the Wellington Light Opera. So so they are bringing it along. They've been practicing during lockdown, and it's just, anything singing sounds good to me. I'm a bit of a Gilbert and Sullivan fan, but I don't know if you've ever heard of this one. So
No, I haven't. Isn't that interesting? Oh, it's nice because usually it's the Mikado or all the classics.
Pirates,
So this,
Penzance, something like that. Yeah.
I remember being taken to Gilbert and Sullivan when I was at school. I did not have a Scooby-Doo of what was going on from beginning to end, but I remember some of the tunes were quite good, and I was pleased when it was over. But I'm sure this one is going to be brilliant. Oh dear. And Jenny, take us into mid-November, and then we might need to say goodbye because we've got to get Charlotte on as well at some point.
Okay, well, I've just got one more. So that was the end of November, and then early December we have Emma, the Dancing Queen, a tribute show. It's going to be amazing. It's a big tour. They were originally all coming from Australia. They've now had to rejig their plan, and it's all New Zealand cast and musicians, and it's going to be incredible. I'm really excited. And it's an all ages one too. You can have boogie and see.
Is that a dress up event?
Hazel.
Is that a dress up event, Jenny?
I don't see why it would be a bad thing to dress
Do we
up.
need permission? Permission?
No one needs permission.
Just ask for forgiveness after. Oh, that sounds awesome. Are you going to that, Katie? Is that on your list?
I think I'd enjoy that.
Yeah, I think
do
so.
like ABBA.
Yeah. How do you feel about ABBA, Jen?
Oh, I love ABBA.
You love ABBA?
Yeah. I probably wouldn't dress up, but I'll totally go.
Never say never.
Yeah.
True.
Jenny, thank you so much. There's so much to look forward
I'm
to.
so sorry I couldn't come in. But,
It's fine. We want you to be
yeah.
well and better soon.
No, I don't want you guys to get this. So.
We appreciate
sounds
your
Yay for
social
technology.
responsibility.
Yes, I also appreciate your passion for your role and for the venue. You always speak about it with such heart and passion. So it's lovely to talk to you, and we'll get you in again before the end of the year, so you can give us all the highlights of what's happening in 2021.
Is there a Christmas pantomime? Is there such a thing in New Zealand? It's an English tradition, isn't it? Christmas
but
pantomime?
Wellington always does a great one at Circa. Yeah, but anyway, sorry, Jenny, have you got a pantomime?
We have the Pantaloons, and I'm pretty sure they're coming in December. I just don't have all those details just yet. So Pantaloons is pantomime, and we do it all year.
Ah, I see.
Awesome.
When we talk to you next, we'll find out December's goodies.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Take
Cool,
care,
thanks,
and
girls.
we'll
Have a
speak to
great
you
night.
soon. All right, bye.
Wish you better.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye, lovey, bye.
Wow, lots going on at
Lots going on.
What's going on at the event centre?
Isn't it amazing? And the tickets sell really well. It seems to be going great guns, which is wonderful.
Yeah, so 20 tickets left for the boss.
Yep.
So get yourself to Event Fighter if you want to get the rest of those. And if anyone wants to make me an offer for my Ben Hurley tickets, you know where to find
Can you not go?
No, I'm just seeing what's out there.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I need some extra
Honestly, you think you know someone and then you realise you really don't. Are we going to have
ticket scalper. Should we have a musical interlude?
Yes, a short one.
Yes. And then we'll
But
talk
this
to
is the only
Charlotte.
time in my life that I actually keep an eye on the time. It's 2 hours every month. So I feel quite proud of myself. And I do it so nicely.
You do. What a fun.
Can you see it's on the front?
There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, so what are you going to treat us to now?
We're going to listen to... Should I do the Jazz Cabbage?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it funny? Is it good? Is it a good track?
It's
Jazz Cabbage.
Yes, Jazz Cabbage. Lucy. This was really for Hilary Barry.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of, I don't know, it probably fits in with the evening because some people
I think
might not
she'd
like
be
it.
a friend of the show.
I think she would.
And we're thinking of doing some merch. Yeah.
Some pencils.
Yes.
Some pencils and some T-shirts.
Yeah, I'm thinking T-shirts and pencils would be awesome.
Yep.
And wouldn't it be nice to sell the T-shirt with a little pocket with a pencil already in? Oh.
I like where you're going with that. Well, let's talk about those concepts while we listen to Jazz Cabbage.
Okay.
This is by Ian Ewing. Thank you, Ian.
Is it over? Is it over?
Actually is over, but kept I was trying to relax during Jazz Cabbage.
I couldn't relax. We're on a time pressure. Shall I come round and check up
if you want.
Charlotte's number? Okay.
Sure.
That was lovely. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Jazz,
that was really
for the Jazz
good.
Cabbage.
That was very enjoyable.
Relaxing,
Charlotte,
wasn't it?
yourself.
Very
Yeah.
relaxing.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Hang on. So keep talking amongst yourselves.
Right, we're going to be talking to Charlotte Harding, who's a friend of the show and fine purveyor of many different, what's the word? You know,
She is. Yeah.
enterprises.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
Tea
very
with a slice of
enterprising.
life.
Yeah.
Well, she's working for another friend of the show, Under the Stars.
There she is.
Becky
She's
Bateman.
one of Becky Bateman's Astro girls.
Astro
I
Girls.
wanted to say something, even I don't know what I wanted to say.
All right, we're calling you now, Charlotte. Stand by.
Okay. Oh God, I love that sound.
Stand by.
Why, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Charlotte.
And you've won. You've won
some merch.
You've won so much. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Are you in a freezing cold campsite, just kind of stamping the ground to keep warm, wishing
No,
you were in a
well,
hotel?
No, I'm in the beautiful Waimea camping village, so we're in a cabin.
Oh,
I'm actually
nice.
sat outside on a wee sofa, rubbed up in blankets and a duvet, looking at the stars.
Oh, perfect. And listening to the sound of the waves.
And listening to ReCooper8.
Oh. Have you seen...
I was listening to you guys. I wasn't listening to the waves at this stage.
That's fine. Have you seen any jazz cabbage down on that south coast?
I liked the jazz cabbage, Katie. That was cool.
It was, wasn't it? I was pleased with that little find.
That was very funky. Yeah. Like it.
What did you think about Jen's kind of classical stuff that we played earlier on, the challenging stuff? Did you enjoy?
It was an interesting journey. Emotional nooks and crannies was definitely one to delve into with that, and I think you mentioned holding tension, Katie, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is we're getting it all. Really interesting, but you know what? I really appreciated the discussion after the fact because that made me appreciate it more.
Oh,
perfect. Thank
Charlotte,
you.
honestly,
so although I was going, I'm not sure this is me, but then when you talked about it, I was like, I had this whole new level of actually, okay, I'd listen to it again now with a new light, you know? So I really,
cool. Nice.
That's great. So the concept works, doesn't it? Getting Jen on
the concept works. I liked it.
You can come back, Jen. Okay. We will discuss next month.
Nicer stuff next time.
I love Jen's section. Jen is just like, it's just this whole sort of, I love anything that opens your eyes to a whole new sort of something different. I mean, that lights me up. So awesome.
Good on you. Well, when we get those T-shirts printed, you're first in line.
Yeah, I'll be there, getting the merch.
I think we have to have one T-shirt which says Jazz Cabbage on it. Oh, dear.
T-shirt designs would just be endless, wouldn't they, with you guys?
Yeah, totally. So, Charlotte, tell us what's going on in the wonderful world of Charlotte.
So much goodness, so much, lots and lots and lots, but all good stuff. Yeah,
good.
Where to start? Which hat shall I don?
Whichever you like.
Yeah, whatever's the most comfortable and the warmest, because you might be a bit chilly right now.
Today I actually had a beautiful with my own personal business hat on with Tea with a Slice of Life and Alice's Tea Party. We had an amazing session this morning with Wendy Jasper, a talented artist coach from Featherstone. So another Featherstone amazing person, and that was really good. So when you said about emotional nooks and crannies, we were talking about stories and the stories you tell yourself. So that was a really fascinating session, and one of a trio of springs that I'm doing. So we've had style, we've had stories, and coming up is strength. So so there's that. And I think what was that else?
I was just going to say, Charlotte, we might have. You've suggested that Wendy could be a lovely guest for our show.
Yeah, I did, and I do believe. I think she might be in Jen's the Featherstone community art because she's an artist. Yeah. I think she might be partaking in that.
Oh, great!
And I'm really excited about that that whole art thing. I've actually been talking about it quite a lot. So. I'll definitely be there. It sounds really fun and really cool. But I think Wendy may well be a contributing artist to that.
Ooh, I hope so.
And definitely somebody to consider. With Alice's Tea Party, I get to meet amazing women, and obviously one of the people you were hoping to have on the show tonight, she couldn't be through sickness. It seems like something's going around, but. Yeah, I had some very cool photos taken recently through an opportunity of just people going, do you want to try this? I'm like, yeah, sure. So that was cool. One thing that Jen didn't mention in the highlights of what's going on in Featherstone with my dark sky hat on is a talk this Wednesday coming up at the community centre. I'm roving around the Wairarapa talking about the dark sky friendly business scheme. Business-friendly scheme that I'm taking around. So if there's any businesses in Featherstone that are keen to come and know more about the Dark Sky project, of the Wairarapa becoming a Dark Sky reserve, and how they could get involved, then the community centre at 5:30 on Wednesday is the place to be.
Brilliant. And is that so businesses can kind of become accredited? Is that right? So that as a dark sky friendly business, is that right?
That's sort of, it's going to be an evolving thing. But what will happen is we are offering that we will come into your business and review your lighting, predominantly outdoor lighting, obviously, and give you some suggestions if we feel that it could be tweaked to be in alignment with the guidelines of the IGA, which are the body that will give us the certification. And then we will. We're not going to beat you with a big stick, but it's if you would like to come on board, and we will give you a report with a list of suggestions. And we've got some businesses coming on board to help assist supply and with all of that. And then we'll go back in a year to check in and a review. But you would then become part of the family, and as we evolve with our promotion of who's on board with the Wairarapa Dark Sky project, you will become one of those ambassadors of.
Brilliant.
So,
nice. And lovely to get local business involved, so they can kind of model that kind of great lighting behaviour.
Yeah. And prove it's not that hard.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We had Becky on the show last month, and she was just saying that, how much education there has been needed around, what a dark sky reserve is and what will and won't happen, and just allaying people's fears around what it all means. It doesn't mean that people are just going to come and take out your light bulbs. That this is a soft approach.
For 10 o'clock. No.
Yeah. So, and I think getting local businesses to be those kind of soft ambassadors around, the principal messages of what a dark sky reserve is just seems eminently sensible. So well done.
Yeah. So so that's what we're doing it with that hat on.
Can you mentioned? Sorry, Charlotte. I'm just going to wind the clock back because you did mention Nicola Halliday, the photographer. You failed to mention that your photographs were absolutely exquisite, and you looked like $1 gazillion in them. And so you glossed over that. You went very quickly over this, but I ask you what that experience was like, because in the photographs is a kind of like an old time kind of 1940s glamour chicness to them, and you look like you were you look like you owned the world. How did it feel? Did it feel as good as it looked? You looked amazing.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. So it was really lovely to be asked to be a guinea pig and go through the experience, get to give Nicole some feedback. But it was just, what was really fascinating is you get to her studio, and the first part of the experience is having your hair and makeup done. So you've gone in and you put something on that you can change clothes out of, change your chosen clothes into quite easily, because you're going to have your hair and makeup done.
Right.
So but then you sit and you spend, I don't know, time sort of disappeared. You weren't really sort of noticing, but it was over an hour. Having she starts on the hair, then she does the makeup, then she finishes off the hair. But there's no mirrors, so you're sat in a space, so you have no knowledge of what's happening, and you're just enjoying this beautiful experience. And it's lovely just sort of having somebody sort of attend, just
pay your attention.
Yeah, totally. Such a surreal experience. And so you were just having this, and the makeup, oh my goodness, the makeup, it's just, it just makes you realise what cheap crap. I don't actually wear makeup anymore. I haven't worn makeup for a long time, and it's one of those things you do when you go out.
Yeah.
But her makeup is just beautiful. You don't feel it.
No.
You can feel that it's beautiful and it's quality. And the lipstick, I just have to mention the lipstick, because the lipstick she'd bought, and it was brand new, and it was this, it was a Snow White, it was called, and it was just the most amazing colour.
You do have gorgeous lips.
It was, and it was literally imprinted on, it was so amazing quality. It was bloody hard to get off. But,
permanent marker.
So you sat there and you had this beautiful experience of somebody sort of paying all that attention to you, and then she said, okay, you can go and look at the mirror now. And you walk through to look in the mirror, and I was just absolutely gobsmacked.
Wow.
Because I just didn't know what was coming.
No.
I obviously had seen what Nicole does with her own pin-up sort of world, and what her style is, and what and amazing stuff she's done, and then sort of seen all of the different side of like another door open that I didn't know existed really.
Wow.
But to look in the mirror was just like, because I just looked so different. It was just like, oh my God, I had no idea I could look like this.
Did you have a little tear, or did you feel a bit emotional, or did you just feel...
No, I was just like, wow.
Wow. You hottie.
But yeah, look, because what was really lovely, and she sends you, so she sends a fact sheet to go and she sends you some Instagram accounts to get some inspiration for.
Right.
And I actually, as organised and as I am, hadn't actually looked at these till the night before, and actually hadn't read the instructions until quite late in the piece.
You sound like me.
Phonetically painting my nails and getting prepared. But I looked at these Instagram accounts that she suggested to get some inspiration, and I was like, oh, okay, I think she might have chosen the wrong person, because there was quite a lingerie look to them, quite a sort of boudoir sort of angle with some of them, and I was like, oh, well, I'm not sure she's chosen the right person. But then I was like, but wow, imagine if.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I literally looked at them the night before. So the morning of the shoot, I sent her a message saying, I looked at those things last night, and I have no underwear that is photographed with. Other than my latest
underpants.
But I don't think it's what we're going for here. But I was like, it's a shame, because if I'd have looked at this yesterday, we could have gone hard in the lingerie department. But I sort of went to this thing, and I was saying this here, and she's got a few little pieces in here. So there's one photo, and if you've seen them, there's me in just a robe, sort of quite sort of sexy sort of, and that is so liberating to do.
Yeah.
That was so, oh my God. And I said to her, like, she hasn't got the boudoir set up as yet, but she wants to do that. I said, that I think is what would really, if people are open to just totally stepping into a different era of look, and that total, there's something, you feel like, I felt amazing in that shot.
Wow.
Just so next level, sort of something I haven't, I don't know whether I've ever felt like that.
Sexy and feminine.
Really liberating.
Yeah. Charlotte, we're just losing you a little bit. The line is kind of going a bit crackly. I don't know whether you've got under the blankets. Just poke your head up above the blanket.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay, that's good. Sometimes just the power of thought seems to improve the quality of the line. So this is good. So you felt kind of sexy and feminine and powerful. I'm just putting words into your mouth. Yep, because that's what you look like.
Yeah, no, that was it. And then the other, because then, so we did that one shot like that, and and then I'd taken my wedding dress, because my wedding dress was a sparkly dress.
Oh, yes.
And I'd said to Nicola, I think that's going to be the one. Like, it feels like the one, but I'll bring all my dresses. But we decided that my wedding dress was that all the other images are actually in my wedding dress.
Oh, lovely.
Which was a beautiful, sparkly evening gown, really. And that just she's got these set like all set up, and you just move from one to the other, and the little like lounge scene, so with champagne saucers, and it was as if you had stepped into Downton Abbey, and were just it was an amazing experience. It did. I totally am. I'm not a big thing for the word empowering, but that's for want of a better word, that's what it was. It was really amazing. So I urge women to, if they want to have a really amazing experience just for themselves. Yep. Yeah, it's
totally.
really cool.
Oh, that's
really
great. And
cool.
we are going to get Nicola Halliday on the show, or I'll go and record an interview with her, because it would be lovely to hear, her, the motivation for her to explore this area of and match that up with, the glowing endorsement that you've given Nicola's service. And you can find her. What's the name of the project or her? It's Nicola Halliday, and then is it
the Fire Inside Photography? I think it is Fire Inside Photography. Yeah.
Right.
So, which sort of encompasses that whole
And you can find
that Fire Inside. Yeah.
Okay, and you can find all that on Facebook, and presumably your shots are on there, are they? Your images are on.
My shots, she had put them on her own page, so which she will have. She hasn't got a Facebook page at the moment, or she was setting one up, but she's got an Instagram account, and some of them are on there.
Awesome. We'll go and look for her.
Yeah.
And what else is coming up in your life and adventures that people might be interested in and could tap into and join? I'll just stop that sentence.
Life and adventures. Well, another adventure that I'm on, and actually you brought this up earlier, fireworks. So we just launched in Martinborough. We just launched on Friday a new community project for our bike pump track. So that we're doing, and we had a launch event on Friday, and we had Sean Preston over, getting a few of us up dancing, and Bicycle Kitchen fueling us with donuts. And on the 7th of November, we'll be actually hosting our community fireworks, which is a much-loved community event in Martinborough that goes on every year, pretty much. And I think we will be, I know that last year when we did it, which was in tandem with the Colour Run event that I ran.
Oh, yes.
And that is currently sort of delayed. The Colour Run will be back, but it's going to be delayed until next year now with all of the events of this year's happenings. But we are going to run the community fireworks. So that is going to be, and I know that last year Brent Gare had said, I think you are the only organised fireworks in the Wairarapa. So we will be there again on Pumped Iron Park on the 7th of November with some just, low-key, the Good Times food truck's going to be down there. Then Tana will be doing some fun activities. We'll just have good old family fun, bring a picnic, kids run around a field,
Lovely.
Fire crew there, and a bonfire and fireworks. And
that sounds great.
Everything you need. And so there's that coming up. And then, Tea with a Slice of Life fun is happening for women that just want to tap into life self-discovery things. We've got a full moon sound immersions that we're running in conjunction with Zach and Holly with Winterwood Sound Immersions.
Wonderful.
So we'll be running those in November, and Katie came to our first one.
It was so incredible.
I've been to one, not this one, but last year I think it was lovely.
When it first started, I must say I was like, is it like listening to uncomfortable music? I was like, is this for me? And I didn't tell you, Charlotte, at the end, because I did enjoy it, and by the end I was massively into it. But at the beginning I was like, I might have to leave because I didn't enjoy the sound. I'm not very relaxed.
Breathe through it.
And then I sat with the discomfort, and it was all good.
Yeah.
Incredible. I'd recommend the experience to anybody. And the addition of the tea ceremony, the cacao, and making your intentions just really heightens the whole thing, really makes it such a special experience.
Finishing something off with burning,
you just can't beat it. writing stuff down and burning it.
Yeah, is that
it's a thing.
It feels good.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay. I might
something in it.
Yeah,
I might start burning stuff.
In it. burning stuff you want to get rid of.
Yep. Yeah. So when's the next one, and how do people kind of book a spot?
The next one, we've got the second. We're really lucky. In November, we've got 2 full moons. So we've got the 2nd of November, and we've got an eclipse full moon on the 30th of November.
Oh, great!
So we'll have full moon sessions on both of those days, which are held at Brackenridge Country Retreat and Spa, and so we meet at 6:30 and have this beautiful sound immersion, and then followed by a cacao ceremony, and we let go. It's a releasing, so we let go of things, and as Katie said, we go out and burn them. Not overly successfully with the breeze on the last night, but we will be honing that skill by the second one.
You're bringing your Weber this time.
So burning is more fruitful. And then I have on the 20th, I believe. I think it's the 20th of November. I've got my next Tea with a Slice of Life session, which is strength. So talking about what strength as a woman means to you, not necessarily muscles, or it could be inner strength. It could be the myriad of things that strength would mean. I'm going to hopefully bring along 2 women that I've looked up to for what has it sort of inspired me in that word, and what that means to me, and what I want that to mean for myself going forward. And then I've actually got a really exciting ladies' lunch at the end of November on the 20th, I think, if it's a Sunday the 29th. I've got Lisa O'Neill coming over to the Wairarapa for a ladies' lunch at Brackenridge. So that will be released this week, actually. So if you're interested in a quite amazing ladies' lunch, exploring the power of you is the theme.
Okay.
And you'll have a bubbles on arrival, a beautiful catered lunch by Trestle and Mortar Catering, which is Nick Arnold of Cafe Medici. And a lovely glass of rosé. Matahiwi have sponsored us with their Matahiwi Estate, which is their me label, rosé for the lunch. So that's going to be really lovely and quite a nice end of spring season for the Tea with a Slice of Life and Alice's Tea Party offerings.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure there'll be a whole lot of other dark sky, stuff going on in the background.
Man, you are a powerhouse.
Busy woman.
Isn't she incredible? I tell you what I love about Charlotte is you think of an idea and then you just bloody well do it.
Yeah,
It's very inspiring. So we're definitely going to have a T-shirt that says, "What would Charlotte do?" What about that? Hashtag What would Charlotte do? She'd just get off her ass and do
that's
it.
a goodie.
I like it. Friend of the show. Oh, Charlotte, it's been a pleasure as always to talk to you. As always. How long are you camping for? Are you there for a few more days or?
No, it's just overnight. It's just in the Harding house today. Is my husband's a big Bathurst racing fan, and it's his thing. He's always done it. He gets in the zone. He's got his day mapped out, and it's just not conducive for a little guy to understand that that's something that's really important. So we just I said, hey, let's go on an adventure. And we have had a lovely time, and Finn thinks it's the best thing in the world. So
nice.
Yeah, hey. It's everybody's one.
Brilliant. Well done. All right then, my lovely. We'll say goodbye because we've got 2 minutes left of the show, so we're going to do our goodbyes. Yes. Charlotte, it's been lovely to speak to you as ever, and let's keep. Well, obviously, we always keep in touch, and we'll try and promote your events as and when we can through our Facebook page when appropriate.
Lisa, I have seen Lisa O'Neill a few times. She used, many years ago, she used to do the rounds for farmers and Plunket. She used to do
Plunket,
Oh, yes.
So she came to Greytown and did this fabulous event of wardrobe styling and fashion, but also kind of funny comedy anecdotes and such a fun night. She's a really engaging speaker and just lights up the room. So that's going to be really cool.
I think the energy.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The energy will be amazing, and she's got that background in fashion, and she's quite she's just her energy. I mean, you just can't. She's on, just this whirlwind.
She is.
So it will be a very fun lunch.
I think so.
Something good for the silly season ahead as well.
Yeah, totally.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Take care out there.
All right.
I can hear the wind blowing.
You.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, that was getting windy, eh?
Crikey. Cold South
It's
Coast.
time to say goodbye.
It is.
Jen, it's been an absolute pleasure. You'll be
Thank you, Jen.
Your next appearance with us will be Christmas. The Christmas. So
awesome.
Yeah, have a little think about what that might look like.
And it'll be nicer stuff next time, I promise.
It was very enlightening.
I really, really enjoyed it.
Thanks
and
for
I've
allowing
learned
us to be challenged, and
definitely
you rose to the challenge.
You did, yes.
Challenge.
Yeah. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you to Jenny Hall from Carterton Events Centre. Hope you're feeling better soon. Thank you to Charlotte from To The Slice Life and many others.
Can I also say a couple of thank yous?
Yes.
Thank you to RFM 92.7 for making it possible for us to be on air. They do an incredible job making this kind of equipment and the whole airwaves available. And also to Wairarapa TV, Toby Mills.
Yes,
he helps us go on Facebook Live. I email him
every time
about 2 hours before we need to go on, and every time he goes, yep, I can set you up, don't worry. So thank you.
What a champ.
Thank you to you, Katie, for being amazing.
Thank you. We'll see you next month, everybody.
Take care.
Be safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.